young player at a World Cup almost always goes to a striker or a playmaker. This year, it went to a centre-back who shut down Ronaldo, Mbappé and Messi in the same tournament.
That one was blocked by Barcola, and then Mbappé stepped in right in front of Cubarsi. Turn to Dembele. Mbappé wanted it through, and instead it's intercepted by Cubarsi.
Cubarsi isn't the fastest defender on that backline, and he isn't the strongest. He wins because he sees danger before it happens, before the pass is even played. That's exactly how he did it, then produced the clearance that saved the World Cup final in extra time. Most defenders operate on delay. The danger appears, and only then do they react. Cubarsi operates on prediction. Before a pass is even played, he's already scanning, shoulders turning, eyes checking what's behind him, running through 3 or 4 possibilities at once. By the time the ball actually moves, he isn't guessing where the danger will show up. He decided that half a second earlier, and he's already closing the space. It shows up in small habits most fans never consciously register. Checking over his shoulder before the ball even reaches a teammate, adjusting his position by half a step while the ball is still in the air. None of it looks dramatic, that's exactly the point. It's why he could spend an entire World Cup marking 3 of the greatest attacking talents in the sport's history and let none of them define the tournament. Against Ronaldo in the round of 16, Portugal never scored. Against Mbappé in the semi-final, Cubarsi didn't just track him. He seemed to already be standing wherever Mbappé wanted to go next, shutting passing lanes before France's midfield had even picked them out. And in the final, against the closest thing football has to an unstoppable improviser, Cubarsi produced 3 separate game-defining interventions. The last one came in minute 119. Argentina were camped inside Spain's box, chasing one final miracle when the ball broke loose to Giuliano Simeone for a cross toward goal. For a fraction of a second, Spain looked beaten. Then Cubarsi, who had started moving before the ball was even struck, threw himself across the 6-yard box and cleared it centimeters from his own goal line. And it wasn't only about handling one big name at a time. Spain faced a different kind of attacking threat almost every round of the knockouts. Pace him behind one night, a false 9 dropping into pockets of space the next, and finished the tournament with 7 clean sheets in 8 matches, conceding just a single goal. Most defenses need a full season to adjust to a new problem like that. Cubarsi seemed to manage it by half-time, but reducing him to a defender undersells him. Reading danger is only half of his intelligence. The other half shows up the moment Spain have the ball. Cubarsi isn't just a stopper, he's a deep-lying playmaker wearing a centre-back's number. In the World Cup final alone, he completed over 100 passes at close to 96% accuracy, a number very few centre-backs in tournament history have touched on that stage, and it's never passing for the sake of it. Every ball is designed to split a line, drag an opponent out of position, or reset the tempo at exactly the moment Spain need it slowed down. Watch him for a few minutes without the ball anywhere near him and he's still working, shifting his angle so he's always available, opening a passing lane before a teammate even asks for it. Most centre-backs decide where the ball goes once it arrives at their feet. Cubarsi decides before that. There's a third layer to his intelligence that rarely gets credit because it's almost invisible on a broadcast. Cubarsi is the one pulling the strings on Barcelona's high defensive line. Setting an offside trap isn't about standing in the right spot. It's about making a split-second call for an entire back 4, trusting your read of the play enough to step up a fraction before the pass is struck. Misjudge it, and you're exposed one-on-one with a striker bearing down on goal. Cubarsi rarely misjudges it. It's a call he's making dozens of times a match, and most of them are clean enough that nobody notices, which is exactly how you know it's working. The usual comparisons get thrown at every promising Barcelona defender, but in his case, they actually fit. He defends with Carles Puyol's aggression and timing in the tackle, and distributes with Gerard Piqué's composure and range of passing. It's an unusual combination, the appetite for a physical battle, paired with the calm of someone who already knows how the next 5 seconds are going to play out. Most centre-backs specialise in one or the other, the enforcer or the passer who starts attacks from deep, rarely both, almost never at 19. None of this appeared overnight. Barcelona's academy coaches noticed it years before the rest of the world did. He was pushed through multiple age groups faster than club protocol normally allows, not because he was bigger or quicker than the boys around him, but because he was already reading the game 2 or 3 seconds ahead of players several years older. By 17, he was applying that same skill on Europe's biggest stage. Man of the match on his Champions League debut against Napoli, shutting down one of the continent's most physically dominant strikers in Victor Osimhen without ever trying to outmuscle him. Coaches who worked with him at that age didn't talk about his tackling or his pace. They talked about his decision-making, patterns other kids his age simply couldn't see yet. He does still have an obvious weakness. At his size, he isn't winning many aerial duels against a target man, and no amount of game intelligence changes physics. But it rarely shows up in his performances, because more often than not, he's already positioned himself somewhere else by the time the ball is in the air. A problem he avoids rather than one he has to solve. It's also a hint at where the position might be heading. Centre-back recruitment has leaned on height and power first for decades, everything else second. Cubarsi is a growing argument for flipping that order, for treating anticipation as something you build a defence around, not just a bonus on top of size. Which brings it back to that clearance in minute 119. It wasn't a flash of brilliance that came from nowhere. It was 3 layers of the same skill colliding at once. The anticipation to sense where the cross was going before it was struck, the courage to throw himself into it anyway, and the same reading of danger that had already dismantled Ronaldo, Mbappé, and, for 118 minutes, Messi himself. Football has always rewarded speed and power first, and intelligence somewhere further down the list. Pau Cubarsi might be the player who flips that order. At 19, he isn't just a World Cup champion. He's a preview of what the position looks like when a defender's biggest weapon isn't his legs, but the picture already forming in his head before the ball has even moved.